Making moves, real estate community is Tuesday. So, your favorite hosts, Tim and Tim, we're back. We're talking about what we're doing this week and why we're getting in the room with people that we do business with. Tim, how you doing today, man? I know you're over on the West Coast and living life, and it's early where you are now. What's going on right now? Why are you over there?
Hey man, so yeah, and speaking of getting in the room, like I'm doing stuff from like I don't know every room on the West Coast right now. Today, currently, I'm in Portland, man. Just got down from Seattle. Was in Seattle for some work and daughter's soccer tournament. Hey, they ended up fourth in the country, fourth out of hundreds of teams. Can't complain about that. So congrats to those girls. Long season ended well, I guess. But
That's
yeah,
super
so been
impressive.
hey, yeah, thanks. They worked their tails off. Definitely deserved that trip. Um, but yeah, man, just been out on the West Coast, still out on the West Coast, doing that. And while I'm out here, been taking the opportunity to kind of meet with some people that haven't seen in a while or have never seen face to face. For example, I got a guy. As some of you guys may know, I do some LP investing as well. One of the guys that I invest with, one of my trusted operators and syndicators that I work with, he lives in Seattle. Been talking to him for a better part of 2 years, but I've never met him face to face. So a couple days ago, met him for coffee on Sunday morning. Met him for coffee, and it was a good hour and a half chat. It was nice to put a face to a virtual name, and then sit down and just kind of talk person to person. Old school, right?
Yeah, old
Um,
school. Yeah, yeah. You what do you
Old
mean? You're not
school.
gonna text each other? But yeah, dude,
Yeah, yeah.
like that face-to-face like, oh my God, like the relationship is just different now. How do you feel about just making that personal connection with somebody and kind of understanding their viewpoints and their personality, and you get a different read from them when you're able to talk in person? Like, what is that? How is meeting him in person going to impact your future investment career with him?
I think it just puts us a little bit more on a personal level, if you will. I never questioned his ability to execute or the way his team is set up. Their returns, their performance speaks for itself. But at the end of the day, it was just kind of having that person to person comfort level, if you will. Because remember, one of the things that we talk about, one of the things that a lot of folks will tell you is, hey, straight up, the deal's the deal, but typically I'm investing in the person,
Mhm.
right? Especially when it comes down to, hey, you show me a deal and you got 20% IRR and 15% cash on cash and a 2x equity multiple. This guy over here shows me the same thing. You know, it comes down to that personal relationship. Who do I trust? Who am I comfortable with? Who do I align with? Things like that. And just having that in person conversation really helps. It really helps kind of build that rapport, if you will, and just kind of
Yeah.
figure out kind of figure out because hopefully one day it's not 50,000 or $100,000 that I'm deploying with this guy. Hopefully it's $500,000 and it's two or
Mhm.
three different deals, right? I mean,
Mhm.
ideally we want to be getting to the point where we're LPing 2-3 million at a time or an 8-10% off of that and
And done.
living living life passively, right?
Right.
Um,
Right. Yeah,
yeah.
I like that analogy of there's three things that make up investments, and especially in syndications. It's first and foremost, it's the person. Who's the operator? Because a good operator can turn a bad deal good, and a bad operator can turn a good deal bad. The second thing after that is going to be the market. Where's the property located? And the third thing is going to be the actual physical property itself. Itself is usually like the least important part. Yes, location, 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 but that's why the market is way more important. And then the operator, on top of that, is even the most important because they're the ones that are pulling the threads and making sure that everything is being executed on correctly. So I love that, man. Getting out there and meeting people, and there's a lot of investors of my own that have invested significant amount of money in our syndications that I had never met. And then when I go on a work trip or even a personal trip, if I have the opportunity to go and peel off and meet somebody that I've been talking to for years or months, that we've never met face to face, the conversations are just different now. Like I know that we were working on a deal and they had reached out and I was like, hey, I can talk to you about this because we have a different relationship than everyone else that I can talk to about this. Because one, I know I can trust you. Two, you've invested with me multiple times. And three, we just have a different level of understanding of each other. And I know that I can talk more, how do you say, kind of like casual or whatever. It's far less structured because it's not like I'm trying to, make a good impression and sell the deal or whatever. I'm starting to crack. God, dude, I'm so sick of this microphone. Hold on a second. It's only on StreamYard.
Yeah, it's but while you're doing that, yeah, I mean, just to pick up right there, I agree. It's great to just kind of do that and sit down and same thing. Like I'm talking about a syndicator that I invest with. Later today, I'm actually meeting for lunch here in Portland. I'm meeting a guy that invests with us. Actually, he's in a couple of deals that we've got going on, and I'm going to sit down and then have coffee with him. Just meet face to face. Just, I mean, I don't know. We may not even talk about deals. We'll probably just talk about his kids, my kids, and I'll gloat a little bit about my soccer playing daughter. Right.
Yeah. Right. I mean, hey, can you hear me better now?
Yeah, that's better.
All right, I changed it over to my MacBook computer, so it probably sounds significantly worse. But I don't know why. I got to figure out what's going on with it. It only seems to happen here. But yeah, I mean, most of the time, like you're going out and you're meeting with people. You're in the room. You're physically in the room with different investors and operators, attorneys and lenders, and anybody that you can get in front of is going to significantly increase your relationship capital with those people and make doing business with them easier. I can think of one person specifically that I talk to all the time, and I went and I was at a conference and I finally met them in person, and it really like made the relationship that much better. And it's always like, hey, if I'm going to have somebody fighting in my corner for me, who's it going to be? The person that is trying to pitch me and say that they can do the best process or the best deal ever, the best job ever, or the person that I know that I've met in person, that I've worked with before, and then they've proven time and time again that they're going to fight for you. You just don't get those relationships until you're in the room with them. So go travel as much as you can, not only for your own personal experiences and enjoyment, but go travel and meet people that you do business with or that invest with you and build relations with them.
Yeah, completely. I completely agree. And and it's really not that bad. I mean, you get out there and you travel around and stuff like that. It gives you a reason to get out and just, have coffee with somebody, have a lunch with somebody, whatever. And like you said, one of the other things I think it's real easy to get caught up in this space is, sometimes we look at folks who are on stage, and that lends some credence to it. But let me give you a little inside info here. Sometimes those guys are on stage because they paid to be there. It doesn't mean they're credible. It doesn't mean that they're providing good deals or anything like that. In fact, I know of a guy who's been on plenty of stages who's absolutely not credible at all. And he has open lawsuits against him. So, get out there, build those relationships, get out there, build those, those personal face-to-face moments with people and really kind of get a feel for like who's real, who's really doing this stuff, who's not. And it's just another level of comfort, honestly, before before maybe you give $50,000 or $100,000 to somebody. It's a good takedown of property.
And being in the smallest room possible is going to build you the best relationships. I've done some personal private lending, and I've never done it before. I've only done it one time, and I had never done it prior. But the only reason that I lent money to these people was because I met them in person. Yep. And we never even talked about business or personal lending. They never asked for it, anything, et cetera, and so forth. They had made a post on Facebook in a private group and said, hey, they did something and they were in a bind and they needed help and they needed some lending. And they told me what happened. And I know that they're good people and they, comped me for it well. And I said, you know what? I will do that. I'll lend you the money because I know that you're good people and you'll turn around and pay me back. And I know exactly where the money's going. And they overexceeded their expectations. And now I'm like, I want to give you more money now because of that. But I would have never done it if I never met them in person. I would just be like, right. Too bad. Sorry. Like find somebody else that's going to donate money or lend money to you, not donate money to you.
Yeah, and that's a really good point. I'm glad you brought that up, because you and I both do some of that. We do some
Mhm.
transactional lending, right?
Yeah,
I can promise you that the first time that I do it, it's not going to be with somebody I haven't met face to face.
yeah, absolutely.
I will do it with folks I've met face to face, like you said, who I've built that relationship with, who I know what they do, and I know the types of groups they're associated with. Um, but I'm not going to do it off a phone call. I'm not going to do it off social media or anything like that. That starts to get down to that personal level where you're going to make sure that you've got that kind of person to person relationship going on, and and that's just a good way to protect yourself, for one.
Yeah, I don't do it as a business. Like I
Right.
don't count on the income of private lending as a business. I do it for my friends essentially. Like, hey, I have a friend that's working on a deal and I just so happen to have a little extra money. Let me go do something with it instead of letting it sit around. I'm not actually like actively looking to grow and can you continue doing more private lending. But if the opportunity is there and the timing is right, I will do it with select people because I know, like, and trust them, and I've
Yeah.
a relationship with them. So getting in the smallest room is like ideal. I go into the conferences and stuff like that. Those are great. I mean, you meet a lot of people. You put a lot of faces to names. You make very let's call it face value relationships. And those are great, right? Because you're able to shake someone's hand and talk to them for 10, 15 minutes or whatever. Don't discredit that at all. You should absolutely go to networking events and conferences. One that always comes to mind is like the MFIN event that the Disrupt Equity guys out of Houston, Texas put together. That's a really good event that I like. There's no like sales pitch at the end of it. I like that a lot about it. And the other one that everyone goes to because it's the biggest event, period, and everybody knows who it is. The Jake and Gino event, MM5 in November. I know I'll be there. I've already got my ticket. I don't invest. You'll
Same
probably
here.
as
Yep.
well.
Same here. I'm ready.
If you're looking to connect with us, we'll be there. We're also working on our own event. It's going to be limited. My wife is actually helping me plan this now because I just don't have the time to do it. But I think it's going to be limited to 19 people because you and I are going to take up 2 spots of that. But it's going to be a really small room. It's going to be great networking opportunities. We're going to invite some people to potentially speak there and have those conversations with them. I wouldn't really call it a mastermind event. It's more so a networking event, and we're going to talk about real estate stuff because it should be something that a lot of people are really interested in. It's not going to be cheap, unfortunately, but it's going to be a really cool experience, and I really hope that it goes well with the industry because a lot of people are into these things. So I think it's going to appease to the masses, and if we can get the right people in the room, that you're going to really build some significant relationships there. So stay tuned on that. We're still working through that. Hopefully have some stuff here in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, man, and I like what you just went. I like what you just went through. You went through person to person. Real individualized, huge event like Jake and Gino. I mean, what do they do? Like 900 people at that thing, something like that.
Last fall, they were at over 800, and it's
Yeah,
estimated to be over 1,000 people there this year.
yeah. So face to face, 101, 900,000 people, something like that. And then these 20-person events, and we do them. I like to mix all that in. I'm traveling down the West Coast right now, and I've met somebody in Seattle, Portland. I'll probably connect with somebody in San Francisco and a few later. And those are great. The Jake and Gino event, looking forward to that in November, just because, man, for that price, being in a room, a very large room with 900 people, being able to step outside, have lots of conversations. But man, I tell you what, there's something about those 10 to 15 to 20 person events where you're there together for a day or 2 days, where you're really able to kind of zero in on a couple of people and have some really good in-depth conversations. I really love the intimacy of that and what you're really, really able to build, because honestly, those are the kind of events that I go to where I meet somebody that I'm going to probably have that one-on-one conversation with later. Two of the guys I met with while I was in Seattle, exactly that kind of thing. Originally met them at smaller events, built some kind of relationship with them there, and then continued conversations from there. And now we're meeting, one-on-one whenever we're both in each other's area, you know?
People that I do private lending with, the only people I
Yep.
do private lending with, I met them on an event. There was only 16 people there. So obviously I met and I talked with them and we built a really good relationship. But, the smaller the room, the better, always.
Yeah. Yeah. Completely agree.
Yeah. And then so today, I am flying to Cleveland, Ohio. I'm going to Mark Evans' DM family event. So if you're going to be there, reach out, shoot me a message on Facebook, and let's link up. I'll be there later today. Yeah, I don't think there's anything going on tonight. I do plan on meeting again. One of the key principles that we've been working with and trying to build a relationship with. I met them in another small room of maybe 23 people, and they're going to be at this event. So I'm going to go there and I'm going to continue to grow that relationship and go talk with them and, and just continue to get in the room with these people. The smaller the room, the better. I feel like a broken record, but I can't overemphasize its importance of spending money on yourself, going to have fun with your new friends. Like, your old life, if you're trying to get into the syndication world and you're trying to figure out how to get into it, the average, the saying of what you are the average of the 5 people that you hang out with. Well, if the 5 people that you hang out with are not doing commercial real estate, then you need to stop hanging out with them and then start going to these events and talking with these people because they become your new friends. Like I travel all the time and I look forward to it because I'm going to go hang out with my friends that we do business with. Like, our syndication attorney is going to be there. Our new hopefully going to be our new KP is going to be at that event. Who else is going to be there? I don't know if our lending broker is going to be there. Potentially, right? But there's so many people that are going to these events because they all have the same mindset of, I'm going to go catch up with my friends that I haven't seen in a while, but I email them every single day or I text them every single day because we do so much business together. So if you're going to be at the Mark Evans event, let me know because I'll be there. The other thing that I am doing, they did a private dinner, and there's a barrier of entry to get into the room. Going to this private dinner was like $1,000. I know I'm not going to eat $1,000 steak. Okay. But I'm going to it because I see the value in being in the smallest room possible. And the people that value themselves will spend the money to be in that room as well. Those are the people you want to be doing business with, are the people that value themselves as much or even more than you do of your own self. So it might seem stupid. It might seem so stupid to go spend $1,000 to go to a dinner, but it is not. I can guarantee you, if our KP spends more time with us, and in the future, all they do is say yes anytime I call them because I spent $1,000 and sat next to them at dinner, that was worth it.
Yeah, and really good point because Tim and I are both in a mastermind group, and we won't mention it, but we're both in a mastermind group, and they have quarterly events, and the night before it kicked the actual event, they always have a dinner, and the event itself, it's usually on a Saturday. The event itself, it tends to be the same thing. It's their group presenting to a number of investors and deals. And I've seen the same pitch a couple of times now. But the dinner the night before, I'm to the point now where I'm like, hey, I will make sure that I go in, even if I just fly in to go to that dinner and then leave the next day because I have some other stuff going on, I will go to that dinner. And the dinner's extra. It'll cost me a lot to fly in and just go and do that. But it is absolutely worth it. The people that I'm sitting at the table with, being around the KPs, being around the head of the group, being around his partners. What's that?
A lot of limited partners have come out of that dinner.
Yeah, 100%. We're doing a deal right now where, well, one, we have a number of limited partners, like you said, who have invested in our deals from those kind of dinners, and then two, we're doing a deal right now where almost the entire capital team has come from people we met in those dinners. So, they've being in those rooms have opened doors to other rooms really for us. Big time. And the other thing I would say too is invest in yourself. I talked to a number of people about this, and I you guys may have heard me say this before. Invest in yourself because being in those rooms, being in those groups, being in mastermind groups, I can draw direct lines from deals I've done to the masterminds I'm in and to the rooms I've been in. Even to, even go back to the 900 person, 800 plus person event last year, the last year's Jake and Gino event. I left that event and immediately came home and ended up doing something that I got a lead for from that event. I mean, I think by the time I paid hotel and ticket to the event, I was in for the weekend for, I don't know what, 2 grand maybe.
Not
Just
even. No, not even.
well with that hotel,
Oh, I don't.
I was I was I was 400 a night into that hotel.
Yeah. I forgot about. Yeah, I forgot how expensive that hotel was. Yeah, yep.
Yeah,
Yeah, you're right.
yeah. So maybe 2 grand, maybe a little bit under that. But hey, I tell you what, I just in my acquisition fee alone from coming out of that thing, I think I more than 10x that.
Yeah.
So hey, that was worth it. Same thing on the other events I've been in, and then like Tim and I are talking about being in those dinners and stuff. I mean, I've closed more than one deal because of dinners that I've had.
Mhm.
So being in the rooms, guys, we say it again and again, invest in yourself. You absolutely have to. You absolutely have to. It's the only way to really do this kind of stuff and do it efficiently, in my personal opinion.
Yep. Yeah, and that's why I think I'm so excited to put on our own event. Not only because it enables us to build better and more relationships, but think about all the people that we bring to the table that otherwise would not have had connections with other people that are going to potentially be there, and you start helping everybody network and grow together because they're all there for the same outcome. So I'm really excited about that, and just giving us a platform to help connect people and continue to grow the community. Right at the end of the day, I mean, real estate is a community. It takes a village of people to do a real estate deal. And I'm not saying that everyone has to be on the deal, but there's a lot of parties involved with all the different third parties that get a deal done. And if you got a good relationship with them, they're probably going to help you out a little bit more.
Yeah.
Perfect example. I can think of one guy that we wired money to do something for us. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to say names because I don't want to like put that out on social media or whatever. But at the end of the day, I was like, hey, I need you to do this for me. We're kind of in a bind. We've done a ton of stuff together. Like, I didn't like say it like this, but he knew that we done a ton of stuff together. And he was like, you know what? You're a good pal of mine. I'll bump you to the front of the line and help you out because you've helped me out. You've sent referrals. You connect me with people. You sent me business. You're in a bind. Let me help you out. Try to make your life a little bit easier. And that happens because you're in the room with each other, and and you speak with each other, and you're connected with the same guys, and then it's a big old happy family, one big old community that comes together to accomplish a common good.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a really good point. Being, and I think you alluded to it a little bit earlier, what was that event we went to? I don't know, like 2 months ago? We were in a room a couple months ago, maybe not even that long, but we met some people in that room who are going to make it possible for us to consider much bigger deals than we've ever looked at before.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
what's that?
I like big deals.
Yeah, he cannot lie. But yeah, we're doing a little.
Oh, I know. Hey, at least we're having fun, right? If it wasn't fun,
Yeah,
I wouldn't
man.
do this.
Yeah, so I mean, that's one of the great things about those events, right? Is like we walk out of there, we build this relationship, and genuinely good people we like talking to, people we like hanging out with. We had a call with them last week. It was a really good call. Just it's just nice to chat with them again, if nothing else. But all of a sudden, it's like we go from, hey, is 10 million our number? No, the numbers higher than that we can start looking at, and
Mhm.
we're building that through these events and these relationships.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. Super pumped. Yeah, I hope to be able to meet a lot of people today, or yeah, tomorrow, really, at the Mark Evans event. And if you're out on the West Coast, shoot Tim Vest a message. What route are you driving down? Are you doing the US one route?
Eventually, once we hit San Francisco, we'll start doing one all the way down to San Diego with a little detour through Joshua Tree
Yeah.
National Park. But for the next couple of days, we're interstating it to get
Oh,
down to San Francisco a
yeah.
little faster.
Look, my man Tim Vest here. I have never seen somebody drink as much coffee as this guy does. So reach out to him if you live in that area and offer to buy him a coffee. I'm sure he's going to say yes to it. He loves Starbucks. So, go have a conversation with him. If you're in that area, like take that opportunity, because I don't know if Tim Vest is ever going to be on the West Coast again in your neighborhood, potentially, or within a short drive, and you want to go meet him, like shoot him a message, man. Be like, hey, I live blah, blah, blah. Let's try to figure something out. And if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. But if you don't ask, the answer is always no.
Yeah. So San Francisco, LA, San Diego, over the next week and a half, 2 weeks. Yeah, we'll be down through there.
Cool.
Let me know.
Yeah. All right. Well, hey, I got to pack and I got to get to the airport and I got to get the hell out of here. And I'm sure you got some driving to do here soon. So we're going to cut it a little short today, but thanks everybody for joining and hope to hear from you. I hope to see you at the Mark Evans event or meeting up, if you can meet up with Tim Vest. Otherwise, stay tuned for our little networking mastermind event that we're going to have coming out soon. Those things take surprisingly a lot of work. I totally misjudged how much work it was actually going to take to put this whole thing together. So my wife is a blessing that she's helping me out with it. But, hopefully we'll come out with that fairly soon. We got some other stuff. If you notice the t-shirts coming out too. I know we haven't kind of been soft about it, but, we got some really exciting stuff that we've been working on, and we were supposed to launch it today, but we're not because of unforeseen circumstances. And so goes life. We will work through it and we will continue to provide great videos. And when we have some stuff to show you, we will. We're not going to hide it.
Yeah, we want to make sure it's right before we get it out there. We were like Tim said, we were going to launch it today, but we got a couple little more tweaks we want to make sure we get in before we share it with you guys. But be on the lookout. Definitely got some cool things coming, including the event and some other stuff that you don't have to be in person for. But making moves, man, making moves all the time.
That's right. I love it. All right, guys. See y'all later.